They came when Gul'dan called them, those who had willingly, nay, eagerly sold their souls to the darkness. Once they, like Gul'dan, had been deeply spiritual beings. Once they had studied the natural world and the orc's place in it, had learned from the beasts of forest and field, the birds of the air, the fish of the rivers and oceans, and they had been a part of that cycle, no more, no less, no longer. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host, Liam, aka Hembara. Today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Christie Golden's Lord of the Clans. Lord of the Clans is a 2001 novel by Christie Golden. It is number 2 in the Warcraft series, which I believe has 6 books. I think it was later reprinted in the World of Warcraft archive. Now, this is, of course, World of Warcraft and Warcraft. I had read one Christie Golden novel before, and that was Vampire of the Mist, which I thought was better, just to put it bluntly. That is a Ravenloft novel, actually, the first one. You note, though, that on the original cover, it is just Warcraft. This was before World of Warcraft released, because that was released in 2004. Now, this is, of course, also about orcs, and specifically Thrall, who was the Warchief of the Horde at the beginning of World of Warcraft, and I assume at some point in Warcraft as well. I imagine. I don't actually know the world of Warcraft very well. I did actually do a video already on this book with my brother, and we will be doing one on the sequel, Rise of the Horde. So I have played very little of anything in Azeroth. But it does start about the orcs' journey to Azeroth. As we know, they originally came from a different world. Now, it also talks about Gul'dan destroying that world, essentially. Though Gul'dan is not really a character in this book, he's mentioned only. So, since this is early in the orcs' time in Azeroth, there is no Orgrimmar, which is one of the few places I actually know. And it's also interesting, though, because I didn't know anything. So I learned, like, for example, we learned that orcs are tainted and demon-touched, or at least many of them are. Most all of them are in some way, and many of them are in other ways. Like the glowing red eyes, not all of them have that, but they do all have the green skin, which I wouldn't be surprised if the green skin being a mark of that came later. But I'm not sure on that. But they have all forsaken the old ways of the orcs, and they're rather a lazy race at this point, just to put it that way. They mostly just sit in camps, and they're not even under heavy guard. They could escape if they wanted to, but they don't have any drive, since the power behind the warlocks of a sort and have just left, essentially. They don't care that much about the orcs. They just basically use the orcs as pawns, but we learn about that in a different novel anyways, because I have read Rise of the Horde. So anyways, Durotan seems to be the main character at the beginning. He is a good guy. He is an orc disillusioned by Gul'dan and the Horde slaughter. He is the leader of the Frostwolf clan, but they're in exile in the Alterac Mountains. He visits with Orgrim Doomhammer with his wife, Draka, and their yet unnamed newborn son. This ended in an unexpected manner for someone who was not familiar with the story at all. But chapter 1 is basically a prologue. There is a prologue as well, though. But we also have the other important character of Atlas Blackmore. We also have Tamis Foxton, who's not as important, I suppose, but his daughter is Tamitha, is actually a rather important character, and especially her relationship with Thrall. The story, again, is about Thrall, his coming of age of a sort for an orc, but mostly in an environment dominated by humans. We definitely call them harsh circumstances, traumatic, abusive. He is rather obedient and naive as a youth, though. Later, this turns into honor, though, and not a lot of regret or whatever. It could turn out a lot worse, I feel like. As a character, Thrall is sort of a noble savage figure in some ways, and he does maybe help bring back the orcs more in line with nature as well, and he explores things like the natural magic of shamans as opposed to the warlocks. It is a pretty interesting story. It's not super enthralling, pun intended, But it is pretty good because Golden is a good writer. And so I did enjoy this. If you're a fan of Warcraft, you would probably enjoy this. I mean, I don't know how much people who are not fans would enjoy it, but I did, and I'm not fans of Warcraft all that much. So it is pretty interesting. It is actually rather tragic. There are some things that were rather upsetting, especially at the end there. That was got my heart rate up. So, but this is Liam's Lyceum. Go check out that video I did with my brother. I'll try to remember to link that here. But I'll catch you next time.